Welcome to the ERL's birthplace and INDYCAR's first trip to China. That's right, it's the Shanghai Grand Prix here in the ERL INDYCAR Series 3rd season, as the drivers now getting off the line for their lap around the pace car. Newest ERL race winner Linus Eriksson starts this race from pole from Milsel Smiker and INDYCAR, whose teammate Pierre Gasly is playing second fiddle down at Power Motorsport. Then it's Niven Colby in 5th from Nasi Medvec and Dominic Hudson, and Armand Creel, Gabriela Barkton, Tommy and Max Bortka the top 11. In 12th sees the championship leader, the season 15 Formula E champion Akari Lopez, start 12th from Oqui, Daf Sanchez and Awful Catfish, who starts this race on the hard tyres. Then it's Carsten Thornburg in the 97 from Bob Marino and Weck Loco, then Ray Shen also on the hards, Lam Fong, Devin Butler and Lewis Olsen. Ray Shen down in 19th for his home race. Note how I'm not saying that this is either INDYCAR or Tommy's home race, because they are not Chinese, they are from Hong Kong and there is a difference there. But for Linus Eriksson in the 8th, heading the pack. And yeah, just touching on his performance last time out, it was a great race run from the Aaron McLaren man, and that's actually put him into the title hunt. He calls himself the unluckiest driver in the ERL, but he's finally taken his first win, and that's a very good step forward for the McLaren driver. Hopefully he can carry that through for the rest of the season. Catfish, and in fact, not just him, the entire Hyperdrive outfit, they really need to step up their game in Season 3, because, well, this is as close to a title battle as they've ever been able to get into. For Akari Lopez in 12th, this is a title battle that he's been relishing. Being able to get back into the ERL and to have the opportunity to win a championship again on return. That's gotta be special for him. But as the pace car now confirmed to be pulling into the pits at the end of this lap, that 8 car is going to need to find 8th gear quite quickly. Heading into the final turn, Eriksson on pole from Milsel Smiker and INDYCAR. The ERL INDYCAR Series hits the streets of Shanghai for the first time as we get underway. That very long opening turn, very good for stringing out the entire pack, and look at that, that's one of the pinnacles, that's Lopez looking for a move on Bortka, following in the slipstream of Tommy right in front. No real moves being made in the top 10, so for Akari to get up into 11th, that's ideal for his championship hope. Is he going to go for the switchback into the hairpin? Looks to the inside, but he can't get it done. Qui almost takes Bortka way off the track. Meanwhile, Micah, Yu and Gasly, as well as Linus Eriksson, these four fighting over the race lead. The rolling start procedure introduced to INDYCAR just for that little added safety that can come about due to it, but for a lot of the drivers, they look at that safety and they go, well, we're racing drivers, that's not the same thing. Sanchez with a time penalty, that's for colliding with Catfish on board with the number 2. Getting alongside with the 97, but not able to get past on exit. Really bad corner exit there from him, as here comes the 2 once again. Colby further back, a track limits warning has been offered up to him. Lunge down the inside for Daf Sanchez. Contact with Thornburg, but they keep it out of the wall. He's got a time penalty though, as does his teammate Niven Colby. Many drivers now getting the new fastest laps of the race, but Linus Eriksson heads the pack, roughly a second in front of Milsel Smiker. On board we go with INDYCAR. For what amounts to his home race, not officially his home race of course. He's looking for a way to get second here. That Power Motorsport outfit has had a good few races as Gasly slides his way up into P3. Quite impressive a move there from Pierre, as there goes to 25, up into second, way in front of Milsel by the time they get out of this double right-hand turn. Micah's still in the slipstream though. He should be getting the support of Niven Colby quite soon. But they keep it single file as they come through this long, snaily boy of a turn. This entire Shanghai circuit, by the way, modelled after the Chinese character for the word capital, Shang. If I've gotten this fact wrong, then sorry. But yeah, these things happen. Who's that going for the move? I think that's Gasly lunging down the inside of the 11 into the back of the 11 to get a 5-second time penalty. Gasly darting all over the back of Milsos in front. As Micah, look at that, pulls to the inside of an Q and takes second position back to the top 5 as they were on the opening lap once again. So they round turn 2 now on board with the Polish driver in the 11, Akari. Good to note that he's in the top 10 now, but he's going to need a lot more than just a 10th place finish if he's to hold on to that championship lead. Every point matters, but I think it's quite obvious to see that more points is only a good thing, as our man Creel gets past Colby, who actually drops down to 7th. Niven having to pull something together through the second sector to just get up into 5th again, but Matty Madvac for Chip Ganassi slams the door shut. And who's that making the lunge? That's Creel into the wall! That's the type of rookie error that you often see. Yellow's in the 3rd sector. He's got a time penalty for that. And honestly, I don't know where the 90 expected Colby to go. Because that turn is so tight. You can only really hit the wall, as Colby hits P5 in front of Matty Medvac for now. Didn't get the exit he needed to stay in front though, and has to slot back down into 6th. Might see some pit stops quite soon, as Gabriella Bogdan into the pits. We're seeing some drivers head across pit row. Into the pits comes Creel, as well as Tommy and Marino. Catfish and Shen, the 2 drivers who started this race on the hards, they've had a very hard time of it so far. Haven't really been able to gain track positions. If anything, they've lost a lot of it. Linus Eriksson has been leading this race, however, lights the flag. Gasly, 10-second time penalty, this time colliding with the back of his teammate. Matty Medvac found his way up into 3rd, on board with Gasly as he tries to go around the outside of Matty. Moves in front of the 66, and the 25 follows him through. So now, for the Chip Ganassi man, he's going to have to look for a way to get past. Is this sharp braking point the place to do it? Because there goes an OQ looking for a way to get past, but he just couldn't get the car stopped in time. Almost off the track for Akari there. 33% tyre wear on those softs, so don't expect anyone to do more than 6 laps on them. So that's got to be a big worry down at Power for whoever is going to have to do more laps on them. Down the inside comes an OQ. Up into 3rd position is Colby, 10-second time penalty, colliding with the back of Matty Medvac, trying to go for another lunge. In comes Linus Eriksson from the lead of the race. Milsos Micah now leads for Sims High Speed. And Catfish gets a time penalty, and it's easy to see why. Fighting with Butler and Shen, those 2 went 3 wide there and obviously collided. In comes Devin Butler. Now for an OQ. He's been the one who's been left out there on his own devices. Down at Power Motorsport. 25%. So realistically, this is the extent that the soft tyres can do. They can't really do more than 6 laps. So for drivers like Creel and Marino, they are doing the 2-stop. For everyone who's just come out of the pits on the softs, they have to do the 2-stop. The 1-stop seems possible but not favourable, and that's basically forcing the drivers to go into the hards effectively. Carsten Thornburg in the 97 in 3rd position, heading through that chicane there. There are some attack mode activation points that can be good for overtaking, as Catfish looks to the inside of Linus Eriksson. Currently running 6th is the Swede, with Gabriella Bogdan behind him. Somehow Gabby for AJ Foy always finds a way to find himself in the race leading fight, as Eriksson moves up into 4th. Gabrielle not trying to send it down the inside of Shen, has to defend from Catfish. They went wheel banging there, as there goes Catfish up into 5th. Micah and Thornburg are both into the pits. with an RQ. Kui getting a track limits warning further back. Shen's come in. Thornburg has come in. But Catfish has stayed out. We've got a full course caution. Wek Loco is out of this race. Wek Loco, that's at pit entry. And for the Penske driver and the Penske team as a whole, that is less than ideal to say the least. These guys were leading the championship in the early stages, winning week in, week out, and now struggling for points in the Pennzoil machines. 7 seconds is the gap between Ericsson and Catfish as the full course cautions end at half race distance. Catfish effectively acting as a little bit of a mini safety car there because, well, he's bunching up the pack. Gets away quite well. So under the greens again. Matty Medvac looking for a way to go around the outside of Gabriel here. Butler further back, and I mean way further back, getting a time penalty side by side between the Chip Ganassi and AJ Foyt rookies rather. Catfish gonna come under attack from the Frenchman. Down the inside he comes, and an Q's off the track, and massive carnage down in that turn. An Q is out of this race with Bob Marino. They went airborne. That's Marino on the wall, so it was an Q who just absolutely hit a vertical pop shovel or whatever the skateboarding trick is known as. But we are under the full course yellows once again. My oh my. Catfish went way off the track there. He's done 7 laps on those hards as we begin lap 8 of 14. And we're about to see the green flags once again, folks. We are back under green flag conditions here in Shanghai, China. In comes Gabriel Lebarton. Why is Gabriel coming in? Thornburg is out of this race. Carson Thornburg out at pit lane entry. Gabby comes in, puts on a set of mediums, and we might be reporting. This is a rumor that's just come out. He could have had a puncture. There are some darkening clouds here. But no, INDYCAR also coming in, so no puncture for Gabriel. They were just not at all confident with those hard tyres. It's just really weird. They can go to the end of this race as we get back under green. That's our second pit lane retirement. Very interesting to see that happen twice in this race. Ericsson and Micah, as well as Dominic Hudson, I might as well say, they are all far, far away from the rest of the pack. The top 3 effectively locked into their positions like a prime Formula 1 race these days. Armand Creole in 4th, holding up the rest of the pack. Kui doing a good job on strategy to be up in 6th. Same could be said for Akari Lopez, but of course moves being made for those guys means that it had to be like that. Otherwise, who are they really? Matty Medvac looking to the inside of Creole, moves up into 4th position before they even reach the braking point. Matty going far off the track to hold on to the position. No track limits infringements down there at Chip Ganassi. Gabriel Lebarton, however, track limits warning for him, and we've got yellows in the 3rd. Who's that off the track? If anyone. Why were there yellows? That's interesting. Kui's just come out of the pits with Armand Creole, so I think we can rule those guys out. Might have been Devin Butler or Catfish Colby, but I think that damage might have come from earlier on in this race. So who knows? Not me, that's for sure. Just like... oh no, it's Gasly. Gasly's got damage. We know why we had those yellows now to clear up front wing damage for the Power Motorsport number 3. I was really confused there because it just wasn't showing up on the monitor screens, but now we know. Lewis Olsen, by the way, of Norway. Brilliant stuff to see him go from the back of the pack to 9th. He's in the slipstream of Pierre now. He heads to the inside, down the inside. Contacts for Lewis Olsen, and a 5-second time penalty for a failed overtake there. Went right into the back of the Power Motorsport number 3 of Pierre Gasly. Lam Fong of Vietnam. He's going to get attack mode, was using push to pass there. Lewis also went straight out of the slipstream and lost so much time. Linus Eriksson's just coming to the pits for his second stop. Probably his final stop if he goes on to another set of hards. Goes on to softs. Butler's been given a time penalty further back. And off the track for Catfish, who slides into the wall, facing the wrong direction. The Malaysian World Drivers' Champion drops to the very back of the pack as the green flags fly again. We're seeing an influx of drivers into the pits, and I'm not too sure if this is the smartest time to come in. 5-second time penalties being served, of course. We could see some rainfall according to the radar, but I'm not too confident on it. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. As then goes the 8 in front of Matty Medvec. This is the advantage of pitting onto a fresh set of tyres. Those fresh sets of tyres means that you've got more tyres to play with. You can attack more because you've got more grip, more traction and more tread to try and get past drivers in front. And is that rain falling? That is rain falling here in Shanghai with 4 laps to go. That is going to be a race deciding moment down at Sims High Speed. It has to be. As long as they come in, Melsos Micah could win this race with Hudson right behind. Linus Eriksson's gamble has failed. He should have done one more lap and he would have won this race easily. But no, he comes in now. Inter's going on for Micah. Shen now leads his home race from the back of the pack on lap 1 to the front on lap 11. He's got Gabriel Bugs in right behind. Some teams, of course, keeping their drivers out because they're not too sure if it is full into weather. Of course, some of them have come into the pits already, so it is just minimizing damage. Eriksson got past Hudson in the pits, but he's 7 seconds behind Melsos Micah. I don't think Melsos is going to be challenged now. He's 9 seconds in front of Linus Eriksson. So this should be the championship lead for the Swedish drivers. There goes Melsos in front of Lebogson and to the race lead around the outside of Ray Shen. That's got to be the easiest move of his career. He's blasted away from the Aaron McLaren SP driver. Wasn't held up for too long, thankfully. And under these wet conditions, the attack mode is disabled, as they now round that final or real turn, that final fearsome turn, if anything. And we've got a battle between an Aaron McLaren SP and an AJ Foyt driver, with 2 of the same in front, and that's close! Contact between Hudson and Eriksson as their teammates in front of them, stopping them from getting by too easily. That's allowed Hudson in front of Linus. McLaren in the debrief, they are going to have many words thrown against them, as Matty Medvec now finds himself up into 4th. What can Linus do coming through turn number 1? Well, what he can't do is take the lead right now, because unfortunately for him, all hopes of that are gone for a championship contender. Uses the push to pass heading down into 5. Sends it down the inside in the 8 car, and that is Linus Eriksson up into P2. And the question is, can he chase after Melsos Micah? Catfish has come in, puts on the intermediate tyres, and he'll drop very far down the order. For Akari Lopez, these conditions helping him out. He's up into 5th. Matty Medvec trying to close up to Dominic Hudson. He is the highest placed rookie driver in this race. There's only one rookie who's out, and that is the Hungarian Wek Loco, who, in my opinion, out of all of the rookies, has just shown the least amount of anything, because he's just kind of been there, to be honest. Melsos Micah in the 11. He's been up there for a while, leading this race in the wet conditions ever since they came out. Medvec off the track, trying to close up to the back of Dominic Hudson. This fight for second could rage on to the very end of this race. And will this rain clear as well? That's another question on all the teams' lips. If the rain will clear. If the answer to that question is yes, it will clear, and that's going to lead to a very interesting final lap. But I don't think it will, because we've only got a lap and a bit to go, and Milsos has bolted off into the distance. I don't see that Polish driver losing this race. It's Matty Medvec now in front of Dominic. Hudson is trying to find a way to keep that orange, white and blue Chip Ganassi car right behind him, but unfortunately best he can do is keep it alongside. Side by side they go through the sharp turn, they keep it out of the wall. Side by side they remain, and it's Hudson who comes out on top in third. They're going to need to keep this up for quite a while if they want Akari to close up, but of course no one wants that. This man will overtake you in an instant. That's how he's gone himself from 12th on the starting lineup to 5th now. Down the inside comes Matty Medvec. The rookie driver forces him wide. Gave him no room there. Hudson getting a track limits warning. And now the Chip Ganassi man has got third position. Does he hold it though, as we're on to the final lap? Micah already heading into the second sector. This has been a dominant run ever since Ericsson pitted. That was the main reason why Micah's going to win this race. Quite simply, Ericsson's strategy was wrong. They pitted him the lap before the rain started to fall. A failure on the McLaren side of strategy that has meant that they've now lost the race win. It's still going to be good points as Micah sets a fastest second sector somehow in these conditions. And Hudson still hunting Medvec. As Milsos is going to do it. Poland, not a country that's been well represented in motorsport. For Milsos Micah in the 11 car, he's one of 2 Polish ERL drivers, and he's going to make sure that he stays the most successful. Milsos Micah takes victory in the first ERL INDYCAR race in China, and he sets a 1 at 17.566 to go with it. Linus Eriksson from pole. Due to that strategy, he's going to have to be very glad with a P2 finish today. Matty Medvec, the rookie driver, comes across the line with third from Hudson and Akari Lopez. Borkar, reigning champion, is 6th from Prix and Armand Creole. Meanwhile, further back, Ray Shen. He's going to take home 1 point at home, and many a track limits violations as well. Catfish is closing up to the back of Devin Butler. The battle of mid in terms of how their races has gone. And I don't know if Catfish will be able to get past the former championship leader, Nevin Colby, in the 37 there. In a bit of no man's land, to be honest with you. But looking back to Butler and Catfish, spreading out, heading into the final turn, and it will be Butler in front of the number 2 car. And this is your podium. Milsos Micah of Poland taking victory from Linus Eriksson and Matty Medvec. Honestly, what a podium. That's all I have to say for this. It's just Sims and their strategy department just doing everything that they needed to allow for their Polish driver to take victory today. Then it's Dominic Hudson, Akari Lopez, Max Borkar, Armand Creole, Tommy and Ray Shen, your point scorers, with Milsos Micah taking the fastest lap. Outside of the top 10, you've got Gabriela Barton, Gasly, Sanchez, Olsen, Fong, Colby, Butler and Catfish, with your non-finishers being Thornburg, Yu, Marino and Wek Loco. In the driver standings, Linus Eriksson now leads on 69 points. Nice. From Akari Lopez, 4 points back, and Max Borkar. Then it's Armand Creole, Devin Butler, Milsos Micah and Catfish are tied on 40 points from Gabriel Labarton, Daf Sanchez, and Matty Medvec and Carson Thornburg. Then it's Enoch Hugh in 12th from Niven Colby, and a tie for 14th between Hudson, Marino and Kui. Then Gasly in 17th from Shen, Olsen, and a tie for 20th between Loco and Tommy, and Lamfong bringing up the rear. In the constructors standings, heading into the next round of the championship, Apex Pinnacle leads the way on 117 points. Then it's Andretti Green Racing on 91, Aaron McLaren SP on 84, Sims High Speed 1 point in front of Chip Ganassi, and Hyperdrive BBX and AJ Foy Enterprise and Power Motorsport, they are also close together. The fight for 4th in the championship. Then Meyer Shank in 10th and Revolution Racing bringing up the rear of the field. We will see you guys next time then when the ERL returns.